So, I've been journaling quite a bit lately, as you can see, and I've decided I'm gonna start sharing some of my random journaling thoughts. So, today's focus is chronic helpers. Beware of chronic helpers. On surface level, they're a cool drink of water because it seems like it's so rare for people to be that way anymore. They come off as great people, maybe even angelic, but the truth of the matter is that people who are always helping others are often suffering from burnout. They give and set the expectation to everyone around them that they can always come to them, so everyone around them always does come to them. They also usually set the expectation to those around them that they will do anything they can to help without expecting anything in return. Eventually, these people become burnout and exhausted, but that does not stop people in need from coming to them. The thing is, anything you can do to help a person in need is only surface level helping them. Anyone in any kind of financial or emotional distress, anyone who is hurting or bothered, can only truly be helped by getting to the root of the problems themselves. That's why when you go to another person for help, no matter what they do, you don't actually feel better, even if you feel like you should, because they tried really hard. Anything that has the power to take your happiness is a reflection of something unhealed within yourself that won't go away no matter how many people you go to. It will not go away until you look within yourself, determine the root of the problem, be honest about the root of the problem with yourself, and work on it until you've healed. There is a common misconception that this is a linear process, but it is not. That being said, chronic helpers are not actually the mark of an amazing saint-like person, but rather someone who has addicted themselves to this vicious process of constantly overextending themselves and then being incapable of setting healthy boundaries, all to surface level put a band-aid on someone else's problems and not actually help. Why though? Like all addictions, obsessively helping people comes with its own payout. People obsessively help in exchange for validation, confirmation that they are a good person, and feeling important to someone. People seek these things out in order to fill the voids within themselves that they are strategically and feverishly avoiding. These sorts of people are classic avoiders of their own demons. They are also extremely intelligent because they have subconsciously figured out how to not only avoid their own inner work, but have also figured out how to do it in a way where they are almost constantly being validated and getting confirmation that they are good people. This is the reinforcement they need to justify continuing to not look within. The thing all obsessive helpers have in common is that they only get exhausted when they do all they can to help people and don't get the reinforcement they are seeking in return. When they help someone and get a glowing, appreciative response, much like someone addicted to drugs, for the moment they feel alive and fulfilled. But also, like a drug addict, it never takes very long, days, maybe even hours, for them to need that fix again. Because if they don't get it, they'll start to be crushed by the overwhelming feeling, the overwhelming feeling that they aren't good enough, and maybe even wondering if they are actually a good person. So they go out of their way to randomly help someone or do something nice for someone in search of the validation that they are, all while remaining too busy or exhausted to do their own legwork. Why would they make themselves uncomfortable with shadow work when they can get indirect confirmation that they don't have any to do? So that was kind of my thoughts from the other day. And I'm not saying that it's like a horrible thing to help people. That in itself is not a bad thing, and it genuinely is an admirable quality to have the desire to want to help people if it's coming from the right place. But my experience with people that constantly want to help people is that they're actually people trying to not help themselves. And, you know, people who are seeking that reinforcement, because if you spend an extensive amount of time trying to help somebody, usually they'll be like, oh my God, you're such a wonderful person. You're a lifesaver. Thank you so much. You know, and when you get a response like that, it's not usually exhausting. It becomes exhausting when you try to help somebody, and then they're just like, meh. And then you're just like, what did I do all that for? But the fact of the matter is, if you feel that way after helping somebody, then you were probably after that validation or that confirmation that you're a good person. And the reason I was able to identify this problem is because I am realizing that I myself am an obsessive helper. Even though I sit with myself a lot and I journal a lot, you know, I find myself almost anytime I have downtime, like helping other people or giving advice and, you know, pouring my heart and soul into other people. And, you know, when I really think hard about it, I don't necessarily go to those extremes to help myself. And, I don't know. It was not something that I wrote to launch a personal attack on anybody. A lot of what I journal about is actually, you know, reflections I have made about myself, or, you know, reflections that apply to me personally. So don't take it as an attack if you're somebody that does that. This is more just me kind of sharing my own thoughts of looking within, and I'm putting it out there to the world just in case if it's gonna help somebody somewhere. And it might not. Nobody might ever watch this video. And that's kind of the beauty of it. People either will watch it or they won't, but, you know, at bare minimum, it'll be posted somewhere, so I can always go back to it if I want to. And, I've decided to start doing this because someday I'm going to die, just like everybody else. And I have a beautiful 5-year-old sister that means the absolute world to me. And I don't think anybody ever, like, plans to die. You know, I don't think anybody ever wakes up and is like, yeah, I'm gonna get struck by lightning and die today. So, you know, these wisdoms that I'm gathering through my life, I am gonna just kind of start putting them out there on YouTube. And if they ever, you know, get views or anything ever happens of it, that's cool. And if not, then I want to have an arsenal of advice or my life findings that, God forbid, if I should ever, you know, pass away before my sister is old enough to pass this information on to her, that everything I've, you know, learned and gathered is somewhere for her to find. Because, you know, I'm 27 and she's 5, so logically speaking, I have not discovered immortality, unfortunately. So, you know, just the age gap difference, you know, she's probably going to be here a lot longer than me, but I've learned a lot of things the hard way. So, yeah, my hope is that I didn't learn it the hard way for nothing, and that I'm able to pass some of it on. And this epiphany that I had, that I shared with you guys about the almost addiction to helping other people to not deal with my own stuff, that was an epiphany that kind of like messed my day up a little bit. I am doing what some people call shadow work right now. So there's been a lot of different ways, I guess, that my entire reality has been shaken up and reshaped. So that was kind of one of them for me. You know, I think I was somebody, you know, I like to think that I'm always helping people for the right reasons and just trying to be a good person. And I think to an extent there's that, but I think to another extent, you know, when I really think about it, if somebody complains to me about their boyfriend for 2 hours and I sit and listen and give them advice and, you know, blah, 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 the reality is their problems still exist. I didn't make them go away just by trying to be a good friend and dumping myself into helping them with those problems. I did probably by that point exhaust myself, and that's 2 hours that I could have spent, you know, looking inward and maybe trying to encourage my friend to do the same and try to get to the root of the problem. So yeah, that was just kind of like a life-shaking epiphany for me. So yeah, that's kind of the why behind the why that I'm posting this video. And, you know, I've posted a few already of just like random thoughts, but I didn't necessarily explain like why I was doing that, because I'm kind of like nobody really knows who I am, so like for me to just like start posting all of my rantings onto YouTube like people care is kind of just like that's weird. That's a little weird. So that's why I explained it in this video. Yeah, I think that's all I got for today. If I think of more random thoughts, I will certainly share them. Like I said, I've been doing plenty of journaling, so there may be plenty of videos to come. I've been told that my writing looks like a barcode in like Old English scripture, hieroglyphics, the back of those cereal boxes that you have to slant to read. Alright, I'm gonna end the video because at this point I think I'm just talking to hear myself talk, which, you know, is fine, I guess, because I don't think anybody's ever gonna see this, so... it's a good thing I think I'm funny. But yeah. Alright, seriously, I'm ending this video now because I literally am at this point just talking to hear myself talk. Bye!